What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nick Bartel, editor-in-chief for technowarriorstv. And are you ready for another spooky audio interview? Ladies and gentlemen, we have another spooky paranormal interview for you, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Halloween to everyone. We have Frater OPU from the Symphysis Discord server. They are a Discord server that, deals with everything from the paranormal, extraterrestrial, occult, conspiracies, all this cool stuff. You can check it out in the link in the description in the video. In the video description, it is a really cool Discord server. So if you really like all that stuff, check it out. We have Frater OPU. He has had several spooky paranormal encounters. He's had ghosts, he's had spirit, like shadow beings, shadow people. He's seen other crazy evil entities, and it is going to be a real fun spooky interview. So make sure to keep the lights on if you dare. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the interview with Frater OPU with the Paranormal Encounters of Frater OPU. Take it away.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I had quite a few encounters throughout my life through paranormal activity. I can't really pinpoint exactly when it all started, but I've had quite a few in my teenage years, and especially as of right now during this year, when I started getting into occultism and practicing witchcraft and doing banishing rituals for clients or people who need to cleanse houses of spirits or unwanted beings. But I do recall some instances as I was younger. There has been one case where I believe I was trying to go to sleep, couldn't really sleep, and then ended up getting into a state of dream paralysis. And as I was in that dream paralysis, I kept going into different dreams. So I went from one dream to another, and then eventually, at some point, there was a giant man in the like a computer grid, but he was black and white. It was a black and white grid, but as it was starting to make its shape, it turned into like a giant man reaching out and grabbing for my head. And as that was happening, my bed was shaking. It was literally shaking, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought it was the dryer that we had in the back porch, but the dryer wasn't on, so it was very odd that my bed was literally shaking, and I was in a paralysis state, and I could not explain it. I tried screaming, but to no avail. Nobody could hear me, or my mouth wouldn't open. But as soon as I woke up, the bed was still shaking a little bit, and that was the most intriguing part, was the fact that even out of my dream paralysis state and waking into reality, that it still had lingered into the real world. So that was one encounter I had as a kid that kind of shook me a bit. Later on, I know my grandparents always told me stories about how the family has really had encounters of spirits and whatnot. But I know when I was living in one of my houses, it was an older house that we lived in, and it was like a trailer, I believe. But every night, or on some nights, very strange things would happen. I would say, I remember one time I was sleeping in one of the beds, and there was something tugging at my feet.
Okay.
I was too scared to move. I could not move, and I was not in dream paralysis or anything. And as I was sleeping, something would just kept tugging at my feet, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was paralyzed with fear. I was not moving. And it was still it kept tugging. It kept tugging for about a good 10, 15 minutes. and then it just disappeared.
Oh wow, that's
That did,
crazy.
and it wasn't just me. It was usually my mother or my father. They would feel the same thing, but they thought nothing of it. But for me, it was really intense, and that really scared me. And not only that, coincidentally, there would always be an owl right outside my window, uh, like hooing or doing whatever. But I can hear the owl, and when I hear the owl, that sensation and all the paranormal activity would start to happen.
Now, what type of activity would you? So you would get the tugging, and what else would happen?
Um, Sometimes it'd be a cold chill and whispers in my ear.
What type
Um,
of whispers were they?
Sometimes it was the voice of a woman. They were very, I would say, it it was kind of an inaudible language. It was very it was just a bunch of gibberish, but sometimes it'd be cut and clear, that you can hear it.
Was it like evil sounding?
It was not evil, I would say. I believe it was kind of a soothing voice,
Mm-hmm. So it
but
was a friendly entity. It was a friendly spirit.
I would like to think so, but I wasn't too sure at the time because I could not just decipher between a bad entity or a good one at the time, and I was younger. I was about my teenage years, but let's fast forward to as of recently. I've had quite a few experiences. Um, there was one in particular this past few months when I first came into my new house, the military base housing. And there's all kinds of stories, man, about how there's suicides or death. A lot of these, and this is like it's a projects homes, I believe, like
Mm-hmm.
Project 8, but they have neighbors. It's like two houses put together. But anyways, these houses do not have any good stories. Sometimes they used to tell of people who are angry, frustrated, or fights happen or
Now,
quarrels.
do
Hmm.
you think what like you had a bunch of stuff happen there?
Hmm.
What type of like was they haunt? Like was it like what type of things did you see? Like with these like what type?
So I believe that these were negative energies left behind by these people, and of course, negative energies. If you give it, if you start giving the energies thought, and you start, you start giving it an idea or a thought of something, it becomes reality. But in this case, luckily for me, I was practicing, banishing rituals and how to uh, prevent myself from being attacked. But these negative energies were very heavy, I would say. Even my neighbor, he was so coincidentally, he's a witch as well. Like he felt the presences in here, but um, I try not to give it thought. I try to reject the thoughts of an ideas of a negative entity, and usually that kept it at bay. But there was one particular week where I was practicing an uncrossing ritual, which is kind of like unbanishing for the less for it's a very basic banishing voodoo ritual. But during those 7 days, a lot of things happened. I was extremely timid and nervous. I've never really felt like that.
Uh huh.
When I lit the candles every morning, every day, I would also do where I would bathe myself and a mix of herbs and read from Psalms 37 and 51 3 times each. But uh, the first day, extreme, enormous negative energies and pressures were starting to hit me. Uh, there was loud, thunderous noises. I'm talking boom, explosions out of nowhere, and they never happened before. These huge explosions happened about three times or twice, I believe. I even asked my neighbor. I said, "Did you hear that? I heard a loud explosion. There's no way anybody can miss it." He's like, "Nope, I didn't hear anything." So I was thinking, "Oh my god, this is crazy." But I didn't let it scare me because usually, if you let these,
If you let the demons scare you, they feed off your
yeah,
fear.
exactly. So it happened multiple times. I would hear scratches on the walls. I heard footsteps downstairs, or something would be tapping downstairs. There was one incident on the third day where I heard my cupboards open. Like I I heard rustling downstairs. Somebody had moved the knife for my knife holders. Somebody had moved the knife in one of the other cabinets. I said, I don't remember doing it at all. And I'm very particular how I order things, so I know specifically where I place something. But this time, the knives were. It was like a big knife placed in one of the silverware drawers. I said, all right, I didn't do that.
So
But
tell me about what happened with the shadow.
so with the shadow figure, it was still talking to me. It had clear cut voices that I could definitely hear, but it was coming closer and closer, and then I was in a paralyzed state this time, and then this time I could not move. But there was something really odd that had happened. I was doing a ritual. It was the LBRP, for those who are familiar with it, the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram. You call upon the 4 archangels every time you do the ritual. So every night I would usually do the LBRP just in case when something would happen, or before I lit the candles for the voodoo uncrossing. But when the spirit came, or when the thought,
Demon.
the shadow figure came closer, it tried to lift me away. Like I
Oh,
felt my
wow.
soul leaving my body. But immediately as it was happening, like imagine someone coming right from right behind you and grabbing your shoulders and pulling you out. That's how it felt.
Oh boy,
Immediately
guys.
as I was being lifted away, the 4 archangels came. So my Archangel Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel. All the 4 major elements: air, earth, water, and fire. There was clear silhouettes of each color, so yellow, red, green, blue, that all encircled and encapsulated me, and it literally pushed me back down into my body.
Oh wow,
And
this feels like something out of Fifth Element.
right, exactly. And then immediately right after it put me back in my place, I woke up and I was crying because I felt an extreme holy presence. There was something watching and protecting me. So ever since that day, or ever since that moment, I knew for a fact that what I was doing was working. So all the banishings that I've been doing the cleansing, was starting to clear the house.
So
And then,
you believe? So this is more of a haunting than an encounter.
I might think it might have been. It could have been. I'm not too positive, but it definitely was something there, something negative.
Did you with
But
those explosions? Okay.
yes, well,
There were, with those explosions, did you hear anything like poltergeist activity? Things being thrown around, um, objects starting to talk? Because I've heard of because people have reported to me that they've had objects talk to them like in really horrible things like this, like they were
really.
like the objects were making death threats, they were being
Hmm.
evil cackling. This one lady,
Hmm.
um the TV came on through static. It said it was making a threat. It says, I'm going to get you. And it was like really spooky.
Hmm.
So
No, I fortunately for me that did not happen. um, but like I said, there was stuff being moved around for certain. I was not there to witness it, but I know for a fact, like I'm very particular about what I place things. Um, it was nothing of particular, or nothing of significance really.
mm-hmm.
But that was the 4th day that happened, and then I believe the 5th, 6 days things were calming down. Like I felt the enormous positive energy and flowing through the house. And then on the final day when I did the final bath cleansing, I stood up, and then from the bathroom, looking in the mirror, and I felt, you know how you see like a crystal aura kind of outlining a spirit of, or like a body silhouette kind of.
Uh-huh.
Well, I saw that sitting on my counter. Like I felt it. It was a body silhouette and with rainbow aura kind of shining from it. And I kind of went up to it and kissed it on the forehead, and immediately everything just went quiet. Everything was calm. Ever since that day, nothing's happened. I've not had any paranormal activity in this house or any unwanted spirits. I mean, there have been some that have happened, but uh, like I said, this immediately after that, everything just stopped. I never had any loud explosions, no booms, no scratching on the noises, no scratching on the wall or any noises of the
Oh,
sort.
oh wow, you had some really crazy stuff. Now,
Mhm.
have you ever been to like any haunted locations and where you are?
Funny you said that. I was about to mention there's the haunted stairs in Hummel Park, I believe in Nebraska. Um, Me and my buddies came from a bar, and they just wanted to go explore, and then we went out there and we went to the stairs. As we were walking up the stairs, we were kind of just laughing, goofing around. But when you become spiritually awakened or you start, becoming more spiritual, you're extremely sensitive to a lot of things. And then not only that, spirits are more than likely to attach to your body or try to attach to you. This is like moths to a flame in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. They So we went out there. We got to the steps like about halfway. I wouldn't say halfway. It's probably maybe a quarter or fifth of the way there. But immediately, as I looked up in the forest, uh, there was like a large shadow just rustling through the trees, and I said, "Guys, we gotta go. We gotta leave now." So
I'm like,
we
oh, we got. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna head out.
yeah, we bolted out. We skunned it. We ran to the car, peeled it, drove away. But they didn't believe me, and they said, "Oh, you're just crazy, man. You're just seeing things." I said, "No, I
So
definitely saw
basically,
something."
they were belittling you and ridiculing you for reporting your sightings to them.
No, it was more like we were just joking around, but they couldn't see it. I could see it, and I was more surprised at myself seeing actual shadow entity, and it did not feel good at all. Like it was
It felt
really,
demonic.
yeah, it was definitely a negative demonic presence, I would say.
Oh boy. Oh guys, you guys better get ready. This one is perfect for Halloween if you like spooky evil things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, do you have anything else you want to report to us or
I If something comes up, I'll definitely let you know.
well, hey, thank you so much for having us, for being on the show today. It was a real
Thank you.
fun, spooky interview. If you
It's
liked
my
this video,
pleasure.
you know what to do. Hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that dislike button if you disliked it. And if you adored it, all you have to do is strangle that subscribe button, slap it in the face, and pow, right in the kisser. Be sure to check out the Syphilis Discord server in the link below and have an awesome Halloween.